Hey, this is William for attackofthefanboy.com. And this is Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm fucking so jealous of you, Kyle.
I think I won the review lottery this month of doing Zelda and Mass Effect.
It's just not fair. I don't know what's going on in the world of video games anymore. I didn't get to play Horizon, didn't get to play Mass Effect, Switch, Zelda, Neo.
Who's behind the scheduling of that? That we got three of the biggest open world, just gigantic games within like a couple of weeks of each other. If you own all the systems like I do, you're a busy person. I'm not playing Horizon. I will pick that up down the road.
Yeah, there's and Ghost Recon Wildlands is a huge game too.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's why we did that giveaway on the site, because there's so many fucking games coming out right now that it is just I mean, normal person can't play all these games. No. There's just too many of them.
You don't have the
Anyway,
time. Yeah.
Let's talk about Mass Effect, because you are reviewing Mass Effect.
Yeah, I'm a couple hours in. What you're seeing here is very early games. So if you're worried about spoilers, I mean, I guess they're there if you're extremely sensitive. But this is all stuff that you can kind of figure out if you watch the launch trailer, and it's the opening hour or two of the game. So I tried to keep spoilers minimal. This is really just mission one. It's setting the stage. Right now, you're not. They keep saying, Pathfinder is this important role that you play in the game. You're not that yet. So, yeah. So, I've been a huge Mass Effect fan. Played the original on 360. Played all three on 360. Carried on my character through the whole thing. I had introduced my wife to the series, had her play while I literally just watched just to see what story choices she made. That's how much I love this series. And so I came into this with high expectations. What's your history? And then I will say how it's been living up to my expectations so far.
My history is I played all the games. Mass Effect 1, played that all the way through, really, really liked it. Mass Effect 2 was probably my favorite one in the series.
Same. Yeah.
And if you frequent attackofthefanboy.com, we have review of Mass Effect 2. It's one of the first reviews I ever did for video games website.
Nice.
It's shitty. I went back. I actually read it the other day. It is
I might have to pull it up just to see.
Not very good.
Yeah.
And then Mass Effect 3 I liked also, and I think we've talked about this in videos before.
Yeah, you didn't hate the ending.
I didn't hate the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't on the hate train.
I was on the I was a follower of the hate train. I was not on the hate train. I did not send any death threats
of
or
the hate train, probably.
I didn't go crazy. I thought a lot of people took it way too far, but I felt like there was criticism to be had there. But that's kind of why, and we have an article on this, why they made Andromeda was to kind of not to get away from that ending. They weren't saying like the ending was bad, but that the trilogy was just such a fine-tuned whole. And so they wanted to do something totally different. And so Andromeda, that's the answer. And so far, in terms of my expectations, it's doing very well. If you can't tell because of any sort of compression, I know we're probably watching in low res right now. This is fucking gorgeous. This game is gorgeous. I'm playing on PC. On my GTX 970, I have a 1080 Ti that will be here tomorrow.
Oh.
That will let me jack the settings up, and I'm so excited for that, because just on my 970, this is running 60 frames, high settings, 1080p, which I dropped. I could have tried for 4K. I pulled the computer into the living room, hooked this thing up to the TV.
Oh.
It is a good looking game.
This game's gonna fucking.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean it. I can see that being something. You got that OLED.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. This game looks amazing, and I didn't think that it would from the trailers. I saw these trailers, and I was like, the animation looked a little off, and the faces still sometimes look off, which it's weird. Some of the human characters do. I actually think the main character looks a little. Um, I wouldn't say bad, but just like his hair is very firm. It's just like this. It's almost like a dome on top of his head, which you can change the type of hair. I went for the default male character because whatever. That's what I do. So
You don't go
um,
fem. What are they? What is it
I don't
called?
do
Rider?
femshep.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Ryder in
Fem
this.
rider?
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Which they actually play into it with this. Where you've got twins. You actually pick between the characters rather than alter the character to be male or female. So yeah, I stuck with males because I had male shep. But
I always go fem. I don't know why.
I mean, a lot of people did, and after my wife went femshep, and Jennifer Hale did an amazing job. I think Mark Meir did a fantastic job as well. But I do see why some people might prefer Jennifer Hale. So, so far I haven't seen any, from what little I heard of the female character, the male voice acting is great. The voice acting in general is amazing. Of course, it's a BioWare game. Like, that's just what they do, is they write good stories, they get good voice actors.
All right, so you're going to have to fucking excuse me. I have really been keeping my ears and eyes closed on pretty much everything regarding Mass Effect Andromeda because I know I'm going to play it regardless. So I'm basically just watching this video and going, oh, wow. Oh. I can't wait to play this. Fuck.
Yeah. 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 And, I mean, like I said, some of those trailers got me a little down, but queuing up the game and really getting into it, it's got me going. The story so far, it's really the opening hours. So, it can really go anywhere. There's some things that are a bit questionable so far, plot-wise, but I'm hoping to see those get kind of worked out the further that it gets in. The characters so far are very interesting. You're not going to get into the characters like a Garrus or, all those characters that you loved from the original trilogy. They're introducing you to all new people, so you're gonna have to give it time. Is the big thing. I don't know if you were big on the characters, but that was just
there were some great ones. Mortis, what was his name? Mortis,
yeah.
There's
or Morden Solace, yeah.
Morden,
yeah.
There's some really good characters in that trilogy, but they were characters that you kind of adopted very quickly as well.
That's true. Yeah, and so far I've run into a couple of those.
And it just comes down to the variety and the writing.
Yeah.
So, oh man, this looks good.
It's
GTX 1080
insane.
Ti?
Yeah, I snagged one of those when they went up on pre-order. Yep. So it's gonna go. I overclocked my processor getting ready. It's going to go 4K tomorrow. So this is recorded on the 970. So if you're looking at this on YouTube and you're watching in 1080p, 60 frames, it looks better than that on the actual TV. If you're getting it on PC, I'm actually looking at this.
We render in 60.
We should. I try to render in 60.
I don't.
Well, we'll see. Either way, if you're watching it in 1080p, it should look better on your PC. Now, I don't know how it looks on consoles. When I played the multiplayer at PAX, it was also on.
But
PC.
it is running. So it is running smoothly on the GTX 970.
Yeah, I mean they
what
switched.
Processor?
Pretty old processor. I was looking. That's why I overclocked it, because I looked it up and it's 4 years old now. It is an i7.
Okay.
So it was powerful for its time, but it's still 4 years old, and that starts to wear on you. If I don't remember exactly what it is, but if you look at the Oculus minimum requirements, it says I'm below that, even though I do run VR without a problem. So if you're able to run VR, you're probably going to be able to run this game on high settings, 1080p, 60 frames per second, because it's running on Frostbite engine. Yeah. That engine is ridiculously good.
Yeah, you would hope You would hope that graphics card and the overclocking will chew this game up. But I mean, it is brand new game, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're not always optimized. A lot of that stuff I've been running into with the 980 or 1080 is trying to get the frame rate really high, but that Ti should be able to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. From what I'm seeing, I'll just be able to throw anything at it, throw it on ultra, and call it a day.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to that optimization. That processor might come into play as well, but you never know. So
Yeah.
I know we're not doing a review here, and this is just the beginning, but they're basically just kind of introducing you to the mechanics. What has kind of changed? What feels the same?
So I mean, if you saw, you can jump.
Yeah, the boosting, which you're
and
doing
yeah,
poorly at.
which I do very poorly. So you can. What I got wrong there is you can either jump or you can boost forward. I was hitting the boost forward button when I was trying to jump.
So are there a lot of places you can go, or are you pretty much kind of corralled by the walls, or can you scale up? Or you're really knocking out this jumping thing.
I get much better after this, I promise. That's where I figure out I'm like, oh crap, I was hitting the wrong button.
Learning the ropes.
So yeah, and that is the thing though, is that this is actually like they're adding so much to this game that it's a bit overwhelming to the point where like I forget some buttons a lot, and that's not just I've played games a lot. I'm not saying hopefully you don't just think I'm a terrible gamer, but like
it's okay, Kyle.
There's just so much going on here. In fact, I think in multiplayer on an Xbox controller you can switch powers or use different powers based on where you press on the bumper. If you press on the inside of the bumper, it's different than the outside of the bumper. That's how much shit you have to manage in this game. But in terms of what's different, the jumping is different because it does open up those maps. And yes, there is like just in these very opening areas where the game is still very linear. You know, you're going from this is the very first mission where you have to do it, and then after this you go to one spot and then you go to another spot, and that's pretty much where we are right now in terms of what we can talk about.
And what is it? What is it that you're looking for right now?
So you get to, I guess this isn't spoilers, but you get to Andromeda. You know, you're in part of this Andromeda initiative where you're essentially trying to seed life into the Andromeda galaxy, seed Milky Way life. So the humans sent a ship and the Turians sent a ship and all of that, and they were all supposed to meet up there. You're obviously part of the human crew. You get there and you run into what they are calling a dark energy cloud that disables your ship and kind of does some damage. And it's
and that's what drops you down in here.
Yeah, and it's on, this world was supposed to be they called them the Golden Planets or something like that, and that was where people were supposed to go, and that was like these planets will probably support life. And you get here, and this planet is all busted up, and it's got this cloud around it, and it doesn't support life. As you saw earlier, he cracked his faceplate, and he couldn't breathe. So basically, your home that you flew 600 years across the universe for is ruined. And so you're trying to find out why, and trying to find out if there's something you can do to stop it. You land, and then these aliens show up. I tried to be extremely peaceful. That didn't work out very well. I think they're called the Ket. And yeah, they just kind of start trying to murder you.
I'm getting EA access. Fuck this shit.
You're going to play it in a couple of days?
I think I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I might. I mean, that happens when? The 16th?
16th, yes. If you have EA access on Xbox One or Origin access,
free
on
EA
PC.
access token or something.
If you don't, I do. So I will send that to you, so you can get a couple of days in there. But yeah, you get I think 10 hours with the game, possibly separated.
Do you get any
Multiplayer, single player.
discounts?
Yeah, you get discounts on digital EA games. This is turning into an EA Access commercial, but I guess it was a Mass
Hey
Effect
man, I
commercial
don't
already.
think EA Access is a bad deal.
Oh no, I don't think
anybody
anyone
is,
does
like,
at this point.
screaming about how they're like taking advantage of people. It's not a horrible deal.
No,
There's
it's
a
a very
lot
good
of there's a
deal.
lot of games in that vault.
Yeah.
I guess it just
Speaking
depends on
of-
like how many you like how soon you want to play FIFA.
Yeah. Speaking of how
Jesus.
bad I wasn't at figuring out the mechanics of this game, if you notice, I have a very powerful assault rifle sitting on my back, and I keep using this pistol. I will figure out at one point how to change weapons.
Are you playing keyboard and mouse?
No, I'm playing controller because I pulled it in the living room. Also, I just played the first 3 on controller, so I think unless I'm playing multiplayer, I think I'll play on controller. Which
Gotcha.
even multiplayer is against AI, so I don't, yeah, I don't think you need to do mouse and keyboard unless you prefer it yourself. With this being a cover shooter, I feel like, I don't know, third person to me feels better with a controller, even though I know it's less precise.
Yeah.
It just feels better to control. But the cover, by the way, if you haven't noticed, is a lot quicker. You don't snap to cover.
Yeah.
You don't have to press a button. You don't
just
do
kind
anything.
of walk up to it and then covers.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So far, I mean, that's something you got to get used to. I've definitely found myself like going into cover when I don't need to, and not being in cover when I think that I should be. I don't think that the system is busted. I think it's just you've got to figure out how it works, kind of.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, does it feel like a Mass Effect game? Like when you're strafing around and shooting and stuff, it kind of looks like it with the powers. I mean, how much has it changed? I mean, at least from what you can tell and how little you've played, from the gameplay perspective.
I think it's just in general a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cover being that way is Jesus. I look terrible
The
in
worst.
this video. I really do. I'm
You're
sorry,
the worst
but
space explorer out there. You're Kyle bumbling.
it was
Ryder,
bumbling with the
bumbling-
controls a little bit. I'll hopefully upload another video later.
Oh
and
my
you guys
God!
can see that I'm not
Multiplayer, you're
terrible.
just gonna get wrecked.
No, I played multiplayer. I was good at multiplayer. I did very well.
Did you play multiplayer?
I did.
I wasn't a big multiplayer person for Mass Effect.
Well, I just mean at PAX. I didn't play too much of the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer.
You played that at PAX, but we can't talk about it yet, right?
No, we can. Yeah.
Oh, the multiplayer.
Yeah, there's an article on the site right now.
Okay.
About, yeah. Yeah, no, we can't talk about the multiplayer in the game because, well, right now the servers are off. And, well.
But what you played was a LAN thing at PAX.
Yeah.
And what did you like? Did you like that?
That was fun. Yeah.
Was it
yeah,
kind
that
of
was
like
really
the
fun.
wave-based sort of stuff that 3 was?
Yes. Yeah, it was 7 waves. Oh, and we'll come back to that. I want to mention really quick this. If you notice, the top is flashing. You're in a search mode right now. And basically, which we also have an article about this, they mentioned in their panel that they didn't want the objective marker to always just kind of point you. Like, not to bag on Skyrim, because Skyrim was obviously a fantastic game, but it would be one of those where it's like, pick up the potion, and it would
Run to the
from
arrow.
across the world, it would say the potion is right here.
Yeah.
So what they did to avoid that is that flashing icon at the top, which essentially says there's something nearby. Your current objective is near you, and it's a hot cold mechanic where it flashes faster the closer you get to it. So you definitely feel like you're kind of finding stuff. It's still directing you.
Feels organic though. I mean, could you see that being a problem down the line? You're 40 hours in and you're doing the 100th one of these things and you're like, fuck. I mean, can you see that happening? Or does it just feel kind of like part of the journey?
Well, so far it's only come up a few times, and I think it's worked well because, I mean, if you're a big fan of this series and RPGs in general, which I guess this is still less of an RPG than it used to be, but you like that exploration. You like finding stuff and doing stuff for yourself. So
Is it just pop up for like story stuff, or is it popping up for just like anything that is in the area?
No, it's only your current mission.
Okay.
From what I've seen, I think you have to have the mission active, and it's a specific thing where they're saying.
Are you sure that this game is you just don't get caught on random shit all the time?
That is actually I would say that's a bit of a problem with the jumping and vaulting. Is that you will stumble on like.
But do you think it's a level of proficiency? Like once you get used to like what you can do, you'll be able to circumvent that, or is it just are you going to be bumbling around your whole time in this game?
I think you will be able to circumvent it. It's not. Yeah, it's a mixture of inexperience, and I do think it's a little bit of just the game is not perfectly built around this movement mechanic of vaulting and jumping.
Yeah.
But it's not been a huge issue.
Not a deal breaker.
No, not at all. Yeah, and I think the trade-off is worth it. Being able to jump. There's even been like jumping sequences where you have to do precision jumping like onto platforms.
Platforming.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But just having those larger maps, I think, is also worth it.
Oh yeah.
Even if you do trip on a couch, anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just seeing it a little bit. The best games kind of teach you these things very quickly, and movement mechanics and stuff like that are fluid. And I'm just wondering, because I'm seeing it happen, if it's going to be like the case for everybody as they learn how to play this game. Will that be like a literal stumbling block?
I think so. I guess we'll see. I'm sure people in the comments will be sure to let me know that they were perfect at the game.
Fucking suck.
Day 1, hour 1, they picked up the controller and they warped to the end and beat it.
Yes.
There's a lot of item pickups if you haven't noticed as well.
Yeah. What's inventory management like? Does it feel good?
I've not dove into it enough to give a real assessment. There's a lot going on. The menus are a bit busy. It takes a while to kind of process and figure out what everything is saying. But I think you get to choose your loadout before you go into a mission. So managing the inventory, I don't think, is a huge issue. You can just kind of have your set thing and go with it. And you can develop new weapons using materials and credits and all of that. You research it and then you develop it. So it's kind of a 2-tier system there.
Is there any bullshit in this game? Is there any microtransaction buy these credits so you can build shit sort of stuff?
I saw mentioning of microtransactions. I think it's for multiplayer. But I don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if there are microtransactions. I doubt that there are in the single player campaign. Because
they fucking did it with Dead Space.
That's EA? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where they let you buy the credits for the tools and you could upgrade your weapons by buying shit, basically. Yeah. Fuck. This looks awesome.
Yeah.
So, back to multiplayer. We were talking before
Sure.
I know we don't have video of it right this minute. We'll probably have some video up tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, so this will be up Tuesday, so video for multiplayer will be Wednesday.
Okay.
If I get into a multiplayer session. Gotta queue up with some other reviewers.
Jesus. Can you imagine? I mean, this initial world just looks awesome. I hope the whole galaxy is
The other world that I have seen looked very good. It was not as lush as this world.
Yeah,
so,
this is colorful.
Yeah, and this also has the gravity and the lightning, all of that going on.
Right.
So this is definitely a showpiece, but I can't say if others will match it. But the other world that I visited was very fun to explore. It was very nice, very nicely designed. It also introduced the vehicle in the game, which is not the Mako.
No.
I think it's called the Nomad, and it drives just pretty much like an off-road vehicle. It works well. It does its job, but it's nothing too flashy.
It's obviously used in a more wide open
Yeah,
area.
I actually got lost. Yeah, I was gonna have to go in and like do some editing if I used that part of the video, just because I
That's
was
still
driving
in
around.
the first area, the first level.
That's the first level after this like prologue.
Okay, so this is still the prologue.
Yeah, yeah, it's a long mission that gets you started. This is feeling like another long game.
Yeah. Did you play Dragon Age?
I didn't actually.
The
I
latest
started
one?
it. I played I played Origins. I played the very first like opening couple of hours of Origins. But I haven't played any of them after that. Someone apparently on the team said that like one
World class
in-
jumping.
one world that vaulting thing is a little
what
tricky.
gets ya.
Sometimes he doesn't grab the edge
Huh.
when you think he should.
If
So
that'll
we'll
be a
see if that's
complaint.
just. We'll see if that's something where I've just gotta learn how to grab onto the edge properly.
Yeah.
But someone said that one world in this game has as much space as like all of Dragon Age Origins, maybe, or something to that effect. Just Google Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and
Are these
you'll see what.
stutters that we're seeing in the video
I'm not
card
sure. It's
related,
probably
or did you see this while you were playing? Or
no. It wasn't in my game.
Okay.
It's probably from my render of the video.
Okay. Well, I just want to make that clear to anybody who's watching.
Yep. No, the game was very smooth. I had some very minor graphical things where like a character would, pop wrong when it's transitioning to something. I might actually just try and re-render this. So if you don't see stutters, it's because we re-rendered and it looks much better. But yeah, no, I haven't seen any major issues with the way that the game runs.
Well, good. We'll have some written stuff up on Mass Effect here shortly. You can find that on attackofthefanboy.com. Our review for the game will be up on the 20th.
The 20th, yes.
4 days after people are allowed to play it on EA Access.
Only for a couple
Makes
hours.
a lot of
though.
sense. Makes perfect.
I can't finish it.
Makes perfect sense. For Kyle and William, for attackofthefanboy.com, you can find all our written content at attackofthefanboy.com. You can find our YouTube content at youtube.com/fanboyattack. We'll have more Mass Effect. We got some Zelda videos if you're having trouble in that. We've got all sorts of stuff. And as more games come out in 2017, we'll be trying to do some more videos like these. Thanks for watching.